Riding home, home. There we go. Let's go. So the way home. Let's check muna. Let's not. Effect XIV the way. What should it? The way home. The way home. Oh no, it's 5.2, 5.3, 5.5, 5.3. So we're in 5.2. Uh-huh. Yes. Yes. Relax naman. Yeah. Go. Do you have business with the crystal? Yes, I do. Oh. Okay. You've come at the most opportune time, my friend. I've made something of a breakthrough in my research on the soul and the means to return to the Scion's home. I trust you two have been making good use of your time. Yeah. Ill tidings from the source, you say. Then I will summon the others that we might all be apprised of the situation.
Now that we are all here, what news from the source?
So the Guardians are making Ultima weapon, basically.
A new Ultima weapon? We must count ourselves lucky that Gaius has pledged his assistance.
While this is indeed a worrying development, I think the state of the Empire as a whole greater grounds for concern. With the Emperor slain and Xenos returned, it is impossible to predict how matters will unfold in Garlemald. The Ultima weapon may be but the first of many unpleasant surprises.
The situation beareth closer observation, of that there is no doubt, and doth compound our need to return unto the source.
Then let us address that issue. Our long search for a means to see you safely home may well be nearing its conclusion. Thanks in large part to Urianger and Beklug's invaluable insight, we have succeeded in fashioning a vessel for the journey.
We set out to create a crystalline container retaining the more useful properties of white aurosite, but without its regrettable limitations. And after a good deal of trial and error, we made one. An ark for soul and mind both that will allow your incorporeal self in its entirety to be ferried between worlds. A spirit vessel, if you will.
However?
Though the vessel is possessed of the requisite qualities to hold mind and memory, it wanteth yet for a means to receive of them. For that,
Blood of the Allegan Emperors, which certainly does not flow within aurosite or any other crystal.
just so, milady. The blood serveth.
Blood serveth as a conduit of sorts. In its absence, memory cannot pass from mind up unto mind, nor from flesh unto crystal.
That being the case, we must either alter the process of inheritance so as to require no such thing, or determine a means by which my blood may permeate the vessel. I am hopeful that the records found within this tower will yield the knowledge we require to pursue one or the other of these avenues.
As well you should be. The Allegan's body of etherological research is extraordinary. I can scarce believe it the work of ages past. But its underlying principles are not so very different from those of my own field of study. Given time, we will find the answers we seek.
I know that you can ill afford to wait, and it pains me that I must ask you to do so. I can only reaffirm my promise to you that a solution will be found. Whatever it takes, I will see you safely home.
My apologies.
I do hope you haven't come to tell us that mortal peril fast approaches.
No. I had hoped to speak with the Warrior of Darkness. But there is no need to cut short your meeting on my account. I will be waiting outside.
Why not speak in here? She knows I don't mind. Unless she didn't want to.
Perhaps I might accompany you. Though I am woefully ill-qualified to assist in the Exarch's research, I may yet be of some use to Lena.
Albino is eager to assist Captain Lena. I must confess, while I enjoyed my fair share of scholarly research, it will be good to step outside for a spot of fresh air. Now then, shall we go and speak to Lena? Sure. We have little time, so I will be brief. A Sin Eater has been sighted in Lakeland, and I asked for assistance in slaying it. A Sin Eater. I heard some few yet remained after the night had returned. but perhaps we should call the others. That will not be necessary. It is only a single Sin Eater, a simple task for our guard. We should think. That said, I believe fighting alongside the Warrior of Darkness would be a valuable experience for them. Peace can lead to complacency, and they gain nothing from an easy victory. But you do not underestimate your foes, however harmless they may seem. My men would do well to learn from your example. Let's be about that. Ideal. Excellent. Then let us make the fourth job. Sana si Jess makita. Okay, we have to go outside. If you would wait here for a moment, I will gather the others. Cutscene na naman. You may not remember, but you have met these soldiers once before, though only in passing. Long have they awaited the opportunity to fight to their side. I was at death's door that day after the Sin Eater's attack. If you and yours hadn't come along, I'd have likely stepped through, and I wouldn't have been alone. Your courage and selflessness is something we all aspire to. To my friend transformed to Sin Eater, blah blah blah. To the comrade, and so I have returned to swear that you know forward. Pleasure to meet you, Miss Cincy. Rest of the watch. Oracle. I need more surgical lock blades now. We seem to have been missing one. My apologies. Escort him clear map. That the garage. Probably must one short. Tyler and the not before Must deliver measure extra words. All this with plus guys is a reminder of my importance. My friend got to see the nice return shortly after before he passed, letting me smile satisfied. And countless others who refused. They gave their lives to the promise of a future they'll never know. And so it falls to us to do everything we can to fulfill that promise. No matter what happens, we won't give up, we won't give in. Early release and spiral adjustments in mana. Cause urging. Let's not keep them waiting.
Did you slay this eater? Your orders were to await the main force before engaging.
No, Captain. It wasn't us, I swear it. The man came out of nowhere and cut it down before we knew what was happening.
By himself? Certainly it is no light warden, but nevertheless.
It's true. Felled it with a single swing of his axe, he did. Never seen anything like it. So I says to him, "Who are you, the warrior of bleeding darkness?" And he says, "No, I'm a warrior of light." And that was it. Buggered off as quick as he came.
A warrior of light? Why would someone go around calling himself that, though? It was those bastards who caused the flood. I mean, if you were going to pretend to be anyone, it'd be her. The warrior of darkness.
Eh?
Oh.
Oh, I didn't know. It's an honor.
Since the Eater is no longer a threat, our work here is done. Return to your posts.
I had hoped to fight at your side today. But I'll continue to follow your example, and may we meet again.
Well...
Estimated the threat. As for this warrior of light, I do not know who would be brazen enough to take that mantle for his own. Whatever it may once have meant, it is forever tainted by the association with the Flood. The Exarch told me the truth of Ardbert and his comrades' deeds, and I am aware they played some part in your own triumph. But to most, they are synonymous with the calamity that befell this world. Still, if this man is minded to destroy Sin Eaters, I may forgive him his unfortunate choice of alias. But that is neither here nor there. I thank you for accompanying me.
With that concluded, shall we return to the Crystarium? There is a proposal I should like to make.
Forgive me. There is one more thing. A personal concern of mine. I had hoped you might have a moment to speak privately.
Mm-hmm.
Take your time. I shall go on ahead.
I will not mince words. This matter concerns the Exarch. Though his countenance belies his age, his demeanor never has. He has seen more than any man should and grown ever more weary with time. But I see I give the wrong impression. While it is true he attempted to open a letter with a salmon fillet the other evening, we are not here because I suspect his mind is deteriorating. Nor do I believe him to be so maddeningly unconcerned by the prospect of his own death as he once was. Indeed, the opposite is true. It is for this reason that I seek your advice. Since he returned from the Tempest, the Exarch is not as he was. He seems a different man. A younger man. I know not the details of his research, but when I saw him at work recently, there was a glint in his eye that I had never seen before. He looked happy.
Mm-hmm.
It was as if he had peered into the future and for the first time found joy there. Though it gladdens me to see him thus, I wonder if I should not keep my distance. I fear that my presence will only anchor him to the past, remind him of all the pain that came before.
Anchors keep us where we have chosen to.
Is that so? Then perhaps we might remain as we were, as we have always been. What a relief. In that case, I will have to speak with him about the amount of time he is spending at work. This research is important, I know, but if he refuses to consider his own health, I will have to consider it for him.
Her mind at ease, Lena is ready to return her duties. I will not keep you. You and your comrades have much to discuss. I will see the others back to their post. The others were quite shocked to hear what we have found in Lakeland, but now that you are here, there's a proposal I should like to make. I have been spending a great deal of time in the capital, and of late I have noted more and more people pursuing books of history, related to the flood in particular. I suspect they wish to know more about the Warriors of Light, as well they should. But nearly everything I've come across describes them as sin eaters or worse. Regardless of whether or not this Warrior of Light is who they claim to be, I worry that their sudden appearance, in conjunction with this new renewed interest in their predecessors, may lead to growing unrest and fear. If the people of Crystalline seek the truth, I say we give it them. I too can attest to the falsehood found within a full many of Cabinet's tomes, with the nary a mention of the noble deeds of Ardbert and his comrade. To be fair, they bear some responsibility for the flood. But when the tale is told again and again over the course of a century, I'm not surprised to see their roles distorted and them painted as villains. Were, were it not for the records stored within the Crystal Tower, I would have had no reason to question the narrative. Unfortunately, the knowledge was of no use, for when I arrived here in the first, their reputation had already been irreparably tarnished. That said, there still remained those who worked tirelessly to defend their good name in those days following the flood. Considering all the good they had done, I find it a wonder they needed defending at all. They brought to justice the man who misused my knowledge to bring about the fall of Bobber. That such heroes could be spoken of in the same breath as sin eaters is absurd. Under normal circumstances, I would agree. But as time passed, those who knew firsthand of their deeds dwindled. In the end, only one truth remained, that they were the cause of the flood. With the world world on the brink of oblivion, it was all too easy for the warriors of light to become villain deserving of only resentment and hate. At that point, the truth mattered little. It would not change their luck. Thanks to all of you, however, their lot has changed, and now they may heed the long forgotten truth. You you claimed it. You claimed it was the arbor to help you overcome Emmet's shock, correct? Such a revelation would do well to sway the hearts of those who know him only as a villain. You I have shared this with a select few, but one and all must be told of his sacrifice. To the end, I say we proceeded with Alfina's plan. We called together the people of Crystarium and recount them the true tale of warriors of light and the flood that followed in their wake. Well, what say you, Ulmia? Further. I wish I had done this sooner. Starting. In hindsight, I agree. But better late than never, no? XR, might I ask you to continue working with Becklug on our means of returning home? The rest of us will see to gathering the people of the Crystarium in XIV. You have to reach out to anyone. You have to reach out to anyone and everyone who might be willing to lend an ear. With any luck, word will spread and more will accompany them. Pleasure. Between the four was a residence of Pakistan on the bottom. Together.
Yes, this looks to be nearly everyone. Let us begin, shall we? Though I am usually the first to hold forth at such events, I think on this occasion that honor should fall to you.
They would be more inclined to take the word of the Warrior of Darkness.
Indeed. In light of the subject matter, who better than thee to speak?
Wicked White. The Warriors of Light did all that?
So they never... I mean, they only ever wanted to help. And when everything they'd done turned to ash, they still carried on.
They gave everything to stop the flood. First their lives, then their souls. And they managed it too, in the end. They saved us. And we cursed their names.
This should go a long way towards clearing the air.
Hard bark.
Impossible.
Can see him too.
I definitely see something. You don't think it's a ghost, do you?
Nay, yonder standeth no bloodless apparition, but a warrior of light and darkness both. Ardbert.
What in the world?
It's you! The one who slew the Eater!
That it should be the Warrior of Darkness who brought the truth to light. You've saved me a fair bit of time, though I have a few words of my own to say, if I may.
People of the Crystarium, I am Ardbert, one of those you know as a warrior of light.
That's impossible. You should be dead.
Aye, that I should. But as the world has been given new life, so too have I. I know not why I, and I alone, have been gifted this chance. But I do know this. Only by the will of the star itself could such a miracle come to pass. The hero who stands before you now, the warrior of darkness, is not of this world. And the day will come when she must return to her home. But this land is our home. And if it is to remain so, now and forevermore, it is we who must protect it. The time to rely on saviors from afar has passed. It is you who must rise. You who must become the new warriors of light.
What? Us? Warriors of light?
What is he doing?
None of us were born heroes, my friend. I was only ever a man with a thirst for adventure. But wherever my journeys took me, I was invariably confronted with the same choice. To lend what aid I could to those in need, or not. And I always chose the former. Any one of you could do the same. All you need is the will to help your fellow man, and the resolve to see it through.
From thine own lips did we learn of Ardbert's fate, and by thy countenance I gather thou art not inclined to recant thy testimony. Yet whosoever this man may be, his words hold truth and resonate with the citizenry besides. For us to voice our doubts here and now would serve but to sow disquiet. 'Twere better we retired under the ocular and there discuss this matter in private.
Go. I will stay here and watch.
So, that is a warrior of light of the first. I've not had the pleasure of making his acquaintance, but as you all seem to be in agreement, I gather this is no simple case of mistaken identity.
As far as I was able to discern, that was indeed Ardbert. It has been a long time, but not that long. Could he truly have been resurrected as he claims?
Ardbert did entrust his very soul unto thee. I see no reason to question thy judgment.
Nor I. To my eyes, your ether burns as brightly as the day you slew Emmett Selk. That is proof that he is with you still.
Yet that which standeth now before the people is far more than a passing imitation. I am reminded of the cardinal virtues, though a sin-eater he is not. Which leaveth but one plausible explanation.
That he is an Ascian.
Given their fondness for posthumous possession, I would have to agree. From what I understand, the Warriors of Light were laid to rest in Yulmore by those whom they had aided in life. At the time, some few still remembered them as heroes. Needless to say, 4 of them were subsequently exhumed to serve as the virtues. And if one knew where to look, Ardbert too would not have been difficult to find.
Assuming then that this is indeed the work of an Ascian, my mind inevitably turns to the last remaining paragon to survive the Sundering.
Elidibus. That Xenos hath reclaimed his own flesh is known. Thus evicted from his borrowed cognizant, no doubt, of Emet-Selk's failure here in the first, it is quite possible the emissary chose Ardbert for his next vessel.
Inhabiting the flesh of the fallen? My, that is unsavory. And they do this often, you say?
Verily, for they possess no corporeal forms of their own. In what one may term their natural state, none save those gifted with the echo can perceive them. Indeed, when Elidibus intruded upon the waking sands, his presence did... On that occasion, I myself remained ignorant of his coming until after his departure. It was only at a later juncture, when he deigned to appear before me in borrowed flesh, that I was finally able to take the measure of him. In such puppetry do the Ascians engage when they seek to influence the course of history.
And they have gained much by it. Emet-Selk single-handedly built the Garlean Empire in this manner, while the Hebrea came close to conquering Eorzea, having taken possession of Thancred's living body.
Yet it must needs be noted that the Ascians cannot avail themselves of all mortal vessels. For were they able to do so, none would serve as a better pawn than our own redoubtable champion. Mayhap the blessing of light shieldeth Hydaelyn's chosen from Ascian influence. Or mayhap other forces are at work. We cannot say for certain.
Whatever the reason, I hope it holds true. I dare not contemplate what might come to pass otherwise.
Is it not peculiar, then, that Ardbert's mortal remains should be susceptible, given that he was once a warrior of light? Or did the final departure of his soul make it possible, perhaps? Regardless, to hear an Ascian use him to call forth new warriors of light boggles the mind.
Elidibus hath ever been an enigma, his ostensible purpose being to preserve the balance between light and dark. When he made overtures towards me, however, I was afforded a glimpse behind the mask of the self-appointed emissary. I shall not defend mine actions, undertaken in pursuit of a better understanding of our foe as either wise or prudent. Nevertheless, what little I did glean may now prove useful. Elidibus possesseth a subtle mind, practiced in the art of manipulation. That he coaxed this star's most valiant heroes as far as the source with naught save half-truths is no trifling feat. And now I believe he doth employ his skills once more to some as yet unknown end. Though naught is certain, should my suspicions prove true, we shall have need of all our wits if we are to uncover and thereafter thwart his plot.
Agreed. 'Tis plain that simply speaking out against him will not avail us. At best, it would only serve to confuse the people. And I would hesitate to do anything which might tarnish Ardbert's reputation once more, nor yours by association. That being the case, it may be wise to keep a covert eye on this Ardbert's movements, as we attempt to discern his purpose and how best to mitigate his influence.
His performance appears to have concluded. What now? Go back out and fight?
Twould appear Master Alphino already hath pursuit in mind, and I suspect one pair of eyes, half a dozen. Let the rest of us maintain an inconspicuous distance, for the present at least.
Ah, finally. With furrowed brow, the crystal expert deliberates your new move. Next move. Hello, cutscene! Tama na! You did well to dispel the falsehood surrounding the Warriors of Light, their actions prior to the flood. Though I must say the appearance of Ardbert, or rather one who appropriated his identity, was rather curious development. He is an imposter. Of that there is no doubt. But to the masses he will appear as a hero returned from the grave. After the Warriors of Light were later rest in Yulmore, the people prayed fervently for the gods to deliver them from their plight, prayed that these fallen heroes be born again for their sacrifices. What bitter irony. I, for one, would like to know why Ardbert urged the people to become warriors of light themselves. Ere we take action, we must needs ascertain his intent. Let us pray that Master Alfino returneth soon with the most essential knowledge. For now, I think it best to press strengthen and drain of our efforts. When we do confront Ardbert, we shall no doubt have need for their strength. Agreed. I think with prudent we all take measures to prepare for what's to come. Backlog and I will continue our research into how we might improve the spirit vessel, that it might one day carry you home. Yes, take action. Backlog and I will continue our research into how we Then I think it might time to return to the Great Wood. Until now, everything we have learned of the ASEAN have been handed to us for repletion. But that was one of myself's unique failings. I have no doubt, I have no reason to think Elidibus will be as forthcoming. Fortunately, I recently received word from Fano that heretofore unexplored chambers have been discovered deep into the Kitanarato. Almet believes the relics within tell the great calamity that befell the ancient civilization, that of the Asians perhaps. They may lead us to the truth we seek. Hello, Jess. Ano nangyari sa'yo dyan? Would you care for company? Be sure to let me know. I wouldn't dream of going without you. When you are ready, make for Fano. Almet and her sisters will be expecting us. Ano nangyari sa'yo dyan? Then let us be about our task. Pray give my regards to the V's. Praktika. Let's go to the bunny girls. Praktik. Yeah. Great hardwood. Almet. Welcome, allies of Ronka. We have accomplished much since the last you came. With the Light Warden dead and its minions dispersed, we have at last reclaimed our hunting grounds near Raktika Falls. It was there that we discovered some more ruins, although we ran afoul of no traps while exploring in its halls. We determined that the innermost chambers were warded by magic. We all were in agreement. Before any investigation could proceed, you should be summoned. We are grateful that you did. From what you have told me, I strongly suspect that wisdom, my comrades, and I seek having from you. This wisdom can prove invaluable, for we may soon face a foe whose greatest asset is our ignorance. I see, then it is good for you to have come, for Ronka was once home to the greatest of weapons, knowledge and understanding, and it is our duty to ensure you and yours do not want to for either. That said, we must proceed with caution. To have reached the inner chambers unmolested suggests a more formidable deterrent yet lies within. Come now. Truly, any threat sleeping within the ruins is, in comparison to those we have faced thus far. This is not a game, sister. You should not be so eager to run headlong into danger. Oh, and who is it pinning for the return of our allies? Allies? That we might venture into the ruins clutching her staff at night wishing it were? Huh, you promised not to tell. Then I suggest we be going. Get back here. Remind me, exactly how old are you and your sisters? On second thought, perhaps it's for the better I do not know. Pray forgive their overzealous nature. None save we three have been privileged to escort you and yours into the ruins and bear witness to its their their hearts now burn with curiosity. Please, you didn't apologize as a seeker of knowledge myself. I understand full well their enthusiasm, and if not for your sedulous efforts to protect the ruins, we would not be afforded this opportunity. Speaking of which, I believe I have kept you away from the ruins long enough. Come, let us make for the Kitana Rabbit. Ah, very nice. Oh, nice. It's most strange these halls be left unguarded. You have care when breaking the seal of the chamber door. Danger surely awaits us on the other side. Please recommend that speech. No! Almost done with the stream. Tatagalan tayo. Let's... What? Oh my god. Ah. Okay, let's draw some 5, 2. Jackpot. Okay. 1. Hmm. Saan ba? Okay. I think that's okay. That's 1 hour for today, guys. So let's get back to Ronka. No, Raktika Greatwood. Then we'll end with the quest. Ugh. Uh, hmm. Yeah. Okay. That's it for today, guys. Tomorrow we'll start with a dungeon. Finally, a dungeon. Then, guys, see you tomorrow. Good games. Bye. Oh, GG's. Bye, guys.